With this note, let me introduce our keynote speaker of the day, Mr. Pulkit Goyal, CFO at Honeywell. He will be giving a session on the emerging role of CFOs in driving business strategy and growth in hybrid work culture. Can we have a big round of applause for Mr. Goyal? Mr. Pulkit Goyal, born citizenship India. He started his career with EY and afterwards multinational diversified conglomerates like ArcelorMittal, the Thyssen Group, and currently Honeywell. Mr. Pulkit played an important role in growing the business in high growth regions, improved the culture of compliance and governance in a growing traditional diversified companies. He took key initiatives for financial digital transformation, lean organization, and establishing a self service finance, business intelligence, and analytics. Over to you, Mr. Pulkit.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for a very warm welcome and an introduction. So, I see still some of the folks are, stuck in traffic. Uh, it's a very tough topic for discussion, especially when you have to start your day. Uh, After the breakfast, you're going to discuss about strategy, and I have 20 minutes. So let me take a quick note of my, time that I have because we started a little bit late. So I have around 20 minutes. It's 9:52. Can I get clicker, please? Thank you. Thank you. So I welcome you once again to this CFO Confex 2024 in Pune. And before we kind of get started with what strategy is all about, I want to, give you a sense of how I think of it. It's arguably the most misunderstood word when it comes to doing business. I hope you all agree. You agree? The the origin of the word strategy basically comes from, several, or maybe not several, but at least a couple of centuries back, when we used to have military warfare, and the strategy kind of, started to evolve from that time. So it has a similar family resemblance when you talk of the military strategy as well as, the business strategy. But the biggest difference that we had at that point in time was the military strategy only looked at our capabilities as the fighter versus the competitor's capability. So what did they want to achieve? Only one thing: winning. How? By killing the competition. That is what was a simple military strategy. Where was the consumer or customer? It was there. You can imagine those consumers or customers to be the people who were being protected by the military. But there, customer was simply assumed that customers are here with us and we are going to do good for them. So there was no consultation with the customer, nor there was any empathy towards the requirement of a customer. Customer's only expectation was that, look, of course, we are living here, we want you to protect us, so have those enemies repelled. Do you agree? And of course, as we moved away from, the warfares, in the previous centuries, and evolved to, align our societies more towards the business, the initial business strategy, unfortunately, also used to be without keeping customer anywhere. And now I want you all to reflect only maybe 3 centuries ago. Uh, how much long queue did you have to get into to even take a landline? The options that were available to you to buy a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler. Because it was assumed, look, this is what we are producing, take it or leave it. Sometimes there were also long waiting period to get some of those things delivered. So world evolved. India was, I would say, slightly behind in that. And I think it's not a secret in mid 90s when our economies opened up, then we, kind of started to see multiple choices. I can tell you from my younger college days, uh, I think I had only seen probably that, if I talk of Maruti 800, it remained Maruti 800 for several years. And today when you see the streets, there are so many cars. So this is how kind of it evolved. And why I'm giving you all that context is that, at least I can in the morning try simplify this complex topic to you. It is, it remains most important subject as I just mentioned, and strategy is cool. It's so cool these days that everybody wants to talk about it, the things that we do, and I'm sure many such conferences that we all have been attending have digital strategy around it because it's nice to be cool. And that's why, while it has become a very big brand in a business world, the word strategy has also started to mean strategic sourcing, strategic marketing, strategic procurement, strategic alliance, strategic program, and so on. The list is really long. And of course, I mean, we can actually, the idea is not to tell you, but it's become a very nice prefix or a modifier to attach to anything. And they say, wow, this is something different. When you just say, yeah, what are you doing? I just do sourcing. And when you say, I do strategic sourcing, there's a hell lot of difference, isn't it? Now, I've given you so much of historical context and the background about strategy. Probably now it's time to decode. You must be thinking, okay, I get what you're saying, but then what it is. So to me, if I simplify strategy, it is about two things. It's about making choices, and the first one is about where to play, and the second is about how to win. If I draw your attention to something which I said a few minutes ago about the military strategy and how it evolved and moved into the business world, this was missing completely. It was always about how to win. That piece got added in each of the business strategies over time. Now, what do I mean by where to play? It's kind of pretty simple. Uh, when I'm drawing my strategy, I must know what are the markets that I'm going to target, what are the things that I'm going to do, and what are the markets that I will not target, and what are the things that I will not do as well. The list could be really long. I cannot definitely help you make strategy here in next 20 minutes, but with this I just want you to reflect as to what strategy indeed means. And when we talk of, by the way, the finance strategy or say sourcing strategy, please remember they have to be a subset of your business strategy. You cannot drive your finance digital strategy in isolation if it is not meeting the requirement or contributing to your overall business strategy. That is something very important. So all those things that you have seen on the previous slides, if they are not contributing to your overall business strategy, which talks about where to play and how to win, I'm very sorry to say it is waste of money, time, and efforts. Now, coming further into, uh, where to play and how to win, what does it mean? So once you know, as I just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, and we will have, I'll try to give a little bit more color with a real life example, how, some of the successful companies have done that. Taken one example, I'm going to talk to you about it, and probably then that could be hopefully a very good reference point for you to reflect and think over it. Please keep in mind that strategy cannot be made by one person. It's a conversation and it has to be discussed. It has to be debated, deliberated before you kind of conclude that. Uh, Now, when it comes to once you know where to play and what are, so for example, again, if I tell you about you know the sets of customers or the markets you will target, uh, the other set would be how will you win? And then you will kind of have a very detailed plan. You will also then talk about how do I build capability, competence to be able to win. And then you will have, and this is where, by the way, when we talk of the capability, competence, this is where all these topics of finance strategy, your procurement strategy, your HR strategy, because you need those resources to be able to win. And then comes the management system within the organization, which will help you to not only maintain those capabilities, but also upgrade and upskill so that you remain relevant in the market. I hope it's making sense in the morning to you. Another very important thing, normally in the definition, you will not cover about what it is not. But I on purpose want to also discuss about what strategy is not. And there is one thing, and I'm reasonably certain that you also go through that in your daily, corporate life, that STRAP is not strategy. How many of you are, you know STRAP, right? Strategic Action Plan. Do most of you make STRAP at least once in a year and then, of course, track it through Pulse, forecasting, etc.? Do that or not? You do. STRAP is not a strategy. Finito. For me, yeah, it's a nice name. It's a plan. It's a list of things that you have agreed to do. It's in the midst of your strategy and your deliverables or ultimate outcomes. It is not your strategy. What we end up doing in STRAP is to talk about typically the numbers or the things that we do. And you know why we like doing STRAP? It's a human tendency because those are the things we can control. And why STRAP came into picture, and now I would like to give you a finance analogy. You know our famous P&L, our financial statements. You see the income statement. You have revenue and the expenses. Since most of the companies are financially driven, and that's the end goal, of course, on the street, we tend to copy that P&L, say, okay, can we just fill up the numbers in there so that at least we know how will my quarter end or month end look like? While P&L or income statement shows both income, revenue slash sales on one side and expenses on one side, we tend to believe that that is our strategy. But remember, the things on the right hand side, that's your expenses you control. Revenue, you do not control. You all agree? Have you ever noted when you do your variance analysis, where do you find the maximum difference? It's not that expenses are always hunky-dory and you do not have any surprises. These days, I mean, of course, in India, we are used to inflations, but there are many economies which saw suddenly, the prices shooting up and the expenses going out of control too. But still, you have a handle on those things compared to the revenue. And then what we do, we typically make a strap which has a list of things. We present it to the board. Look, this is how we're going to do, and this will be my sales, $500 million. And board says, wow, that's really cool. And then 6 months later, we probably go and say, I'm not saying in every case it happens so, but in many cases it does happen that, yeah, board, look, I did whatever I promised. See how honest I am. I did each and everything that I wrote on the plan. But this happened. We didn't get a competitor right. We thought our customers will buy our products and services, but they didn't. We had, economic contractions. Exactly. So the things that you didn't know of, this is what you need to bring into your strategy and have a discussion. And that becomes then a part of the discussion that I just mentioned to you a few minutes ago. Where to play and how to win. These are the discussions that need to happen. So it's an art, and some companies really, really do it very well, and that's the reason why they are extremely, successful. Let me do a quick time check. Okay. Now, I want to use, the case study which I was referring to. I don't have to tell you how life looked like in 2016. There were so many players, 8 of them approximately. I won't spend time. You know what happened. Where we are now, left with 4, 3 disappeared, probably a couple of more which we don't see it here. But if I just take the prominent ones, and 2 decided to come together. Now, if you see in all this, and of course, don't ask me why, our public sector telecom operator is not able to do well. That's always a mystery for me to decode. But did you notice what's common in this? Which telecom operator survived? It's Airtel, right? At least it didn't do that kind of combined. This was a new entrant. I kept that person far away, but Airtel survived. Now, this is where I want you to think. You recall the picture of the chess board. When you're making those moves, those are silent moves. They are heard only when you say checkmate. So when this fellow survived, we now, of course, praise it. But do you think it just happened? Was it a coincidence? They may also be doing strap, but they must also be having some strategy around it. It took them, I think, 6 to 7 years. I think they are still, of course, life will never be a bed of roses. But so what was right? And that's what I want you to now reflect and take you through very quickly. And I thought I will divide it between the 2 sections, where to play. This is a stated Airtel strategy. No secret about it. You can go and check and Google. They have always remained focused on their market, diversified, focused, and progressive. It has not changed. What has changed is only the internal rules of the game. Started with fixed telecom to hardware. Now they call themselves ICT, Information and Communication Technologies. Customer, clearly focus on customer experience. And now, said yes, as I have now earn the right to live, I want to focus on quality customers. They're very clear. You can check on the website. They say, I want to have only quality customers. Yes, I know, but I just wanted to take 2-3 minutes more. Uh, and then progressive brand. Does it ring the bell? This is something, 20-year-old. So they are not just visually aligned with us. Of course, they were criticized about the brand change, etc. But they express themselves so nicely that even the person who are from different abilities can connect with the brand even now. And that is what is called the true strategy, and that nobody can take away. Now, very quickly, how did they win? They built, brand recall, we have spoken about. They were really one of the solid brand recall, which you will not find in any of the other ones. They built on their enterprise accounts and also use that as a strategy to kind of get to the retail customers. So for example, they actually approached their corporate clients to tap the quality retail customers. They worked on transforming the culture. Imagine Airtel had signed a deal with IBM in 2006 or 7, where they said, and imagine the clarity in the thought, it is not my responsibility to manage the call center. It's not my responsibility to manage the network. Our responsibility is to give the fantastic experience to the customer and be close to the customer. Mercedes has, by the way, done that too. Mercedes says, I will be close to they have actually completely outsourced. Imagine this mentality and the strategy 1.5 decades ago. And then, of course, acting with urgency, they spotted opportunity during COVID. They understood immediately the need to to work from remote locations, and they again tapped their B2B customers to enter into the retail segment. They innovated. They actually cannibalized a lot of smaller ones to further enhance their market presence and differentiated offering. This one last thing which I want you to retain and upsell. And some of you must have heard of the phrase called loss leader strategy. Sell entry-level products at loss. That's your entry or access to the customer, and then retain and upsell. How do you do that? By the way, if you haven't seen how they are improving customer experience, I'm sure if some of you have. By the way, I'm not from Airtel, and I'm not here to sell their products and services, but I just wanted you to be aware that how they are dealing with their strategic challenges. You know how they are. Spam is one of the biggest concerns for each of us, how they are enhancing the customer experience. These are the things which they are doing to retain and improve customer experience. And razor blade strategy, sell the razor at a loss and then keep selling the blades. Well, I think want to take a pause, but also want to use this opportunity. I'm not sure if I'll get to see each one of you before the year ends. So I wish you a very good session ahead. And there will be much more detailed discussions around this topic and also many around this. And also wish you a strategic 2025 ahead. And any questions we can kind of take up during the session. You'll see me here until lunch. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session. And I would like to call upon stage Ms. Hemlata Saptarashi, Head Enterprises Sales at Iris GST, to do the honors. Please put your hands together.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. We're taking picture.